The passion really comes through. So I want to talk a little bit about a friend. If you've been coming to our events for some time, chances are our next award winner probably doesn't need much of an introduction. As the Director of College Access Programs for the Ohio Department of Higher Education, our friend Carlos Bing oversees the Gear Up Ohio program, but he's been instrumental in a lot of statewide initiatives, such as rebuilding the college access network in the state, the Ohio 3 to Get Ready, 4 to Go campaign, and a whole host of FAFSA completion initiatives. In addition to his many accomplishments over his 16-year career, we just received an overwhelming number of letters of support as part of his nomination, and it really meant a lot. Everyone praised his vision, his leadership, his ability to get things done, but they always emphasized, his emotional intelligence, his humility, how he treats everyone with great care. As a licensed professional counselor, Carlos continues to work with adolescent clients, and he's been so generous, especially throughout the pandemic, in sharing his expertise with all of us in Gear Up. He's led a number of workshops, webinars, for us on self-care and attending to our well-being, and we really valued that. During this challenging time, he was just a huge resource. He just completed his term on our Gear Up Advisory Commission, and he really helped steer us through the pandemic in a really meaningful way. So I'm personally grateful to Carlos. So please join me in welcoming our second 2022 Gear Up Professional of the Year, Mr. Carlos Bing.
Gear up. So first, before I get started, I have to give honor to God. Y'all have to understand something. And I do this all the time, but I have to do it today because I asked him very personally. My wife and I, we traveled to DC. The plan was to fly by flight. The flight got canceled. At the last minute, we decided to drive. I had a meeting the next day with CCREC at 9 in the morning. We got here at 4 in the morning. I said, God, just give me some energy so when I'm in this meeting, I don't fall asleep. And he gave me that. So I just want to give honor to God for just giving me that energy and everything else he does for me. So I wanted to start there. That's most important. And now for this award. This is so humbling to be selected as the 2022 Gear Professional of the Year. Let me start by thanking NCCEP. Alex Cho has been a great support, Betty Ortiz, Christy Tillery. For those that don't know, Betty and I are birthday twins. So I wanted to make sure you all know that March 11th is our birthday, so we share a birthday, that's our connection. I want to thank the Gear Up Board of Directors, the Advisory Commission, the East Directors, the West Directors, CCREC, the Gear Up Supplemental Evaluation Team. Listen, I'm involved in a number of different parts of Gear Up, but these folks make me better and help me to help the students become better. So thank you all for everything that you all do to help us be better with our students. A huge debt of thanks goes to Sarah Molsky, as well as the team at the Department of Higher Education where I work, the entire team at College Now Greater Cleveland, and shout out to College Now, and the entire Gear Up Ohio team. I'm hearing there were a number of nomination documents submitted from our team. I've read several of them, and I kept reading them thinking, who were they talking about? They were talking about me, but I'm not that type of guy. I don't do well with a lot of accolades, so I really appreciate them sending those pieces out for me. I also want to give a shout out to my wife who's here, Seneca Bing, who's here. Want to give a shout out to my two boys, Jalen and Carlos II, my daughter Tiara, and our daughter in heaven, Aaliyah. We're a great team, and I love them all, so it's just great to have them as a team. So let me get to my speech. I've been a part of Gear Up since 2008, but I fell in love with Gear Up back in 1999 when I read about the program starting. So I've known about this thing since it started. And I remember when my wife became a Gear Up advisor, and I was kind of jealous of her, to be honest, because she got to join the team in 2005, but luckily, lo and behold, a position opened up in our department for my role to join in 2008 as she was leaving to become a school counselor. Because as you know, at my level, I would have been her supervisor. That wouldn't have played out well, so she took a different job so I can go and do my thing with the state. So that worked out beautifully. It was amazing. But seriously, as much as this award is about me, which again is very difficult for me to say, this is really about the amazing team that I work with. And they know I joke with them a lot, but I always tell them they are the superheroes. If you're familiar with Marvel, I'm like Nick Fury. I bring them together. We do the work together. I don't have any superpowers. My team, they are the superheroes that serve our students. And I love each and every one of them and the work they do to make sure that our students are great. And so I appreciate them. And then this award is about our students. And I've worked with several of them, though at my position at the state level, we're not around the students a whole lot. But there is one student in particular that I often think about, and her name is Carson. And I remember Carson came to the 27 Ohio, or the National Youth Leadership, and by the way, for you all that have students here at the National Youth Leadership Summit, they're going to get something powerful from this opportunity. So I know from experience from a child that came through this program that I'm seeing her now. She learned a lot from that experience. So back to Carson. She was able to come to San Francisco in 2017. She was part of our statewide Youth Leadership Summit in Ohio. That same student became a FAFSA ambassador as a college student to promote other students and excite them about completing the FAFSA form. And then that same student works at a local college as a college advisor now. And when she wrote her recommendation letter for me, what she said was that I positively impacted her life, which for me was pretty cool because I was just doing my job. But just knowing that I had that positive influence on a student and to see where she is now is a beautiful thing. Gear Up, I knew early in my life that I wanted to help people. And I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to do that when I was younger, but I've always been a helper. So as a therapist and as doing this work in Gear Up, this to me isn't work. This is just what I do. This is who I am. And I enjoy this work. It's not work to me. I tell my wife all the time, if we didn't have bills, I would just do this for free because I really, really thoroughly enjoy it. Like, it's just fun. It's not work to me. And I want to encourage you all to find that place in your lives where you're able to find the type of work that you would do for free and do to be able to serve the people that you're trying to serve. And if that's with Gear Up, stay with us as you keep going forward. As I close, Gear Up, we have an opportunity to inspire. It's not going to be easy, especially after the pandemic. But we're incredibly blessed to be here in DC. I know for my first session, I was in a session about the pandemic podcast, the Painesville podcast. Shout out to the group that did the Painesville podcast. But just to be able to get that information and be able to take that back home and share it with the staff, I can't wait. And so we have 2 more days of sessions. Folks, take advantage of those sessions. Let's be a blessing to the students across the country so that we can keep them going forward to whatever they decide to do next. I love you, Gear Up. Thank you for this opportunity this morning.